financing your next billion. Gain insights into successful engagements with venture capitalists and investors. Get ahead of industry trends, hear from industry leaders, influencers, founders, policymakers, and governments. Stay in the know on how to finance your next billion.
Okay, welcome everyone to FYNB Live. I am your host, Yvonne Gamble, and I'm the CEO of Women Leading Change Now. Welcome to the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women, 69. This is our 69th convening for the status of women. And this year, we're actually going to be going over and reviewing the Beijing commitment that we made some years ago back in the 90s. And what we are looking for is giving us a checkpoint before we get to 2030, because that's when those goals are all to be implemented. And those goals will surround the equality of women, bringing women into the workplace, how women are actually fairly treated in the financial industry and in industries all the way around. Also, the condition of women is the things that we will be actually discussing during the UN. And we will have this between March the 10th to March the 21st. We're convening in New York City in the United States, and we are convening parallel events such as the one that Women Leading Change Now is hosting around the world. My guest today is a very prolific woman, a woman, that's been around many different countries, many different places for years. And so she has a lot of experience in what she's going to actually be bringing to us. She's talking to us about, are you a fireproof woman? I'm not going to pretend that I understand that, but at the end of that, I hope I can say, yes, I am a fireproof woman. So what I'm going to do is, I don't steal anyone's thunder. I want them to thunder themselves onto the screen, onto the world. And we're going to be talking to Anaiis Salles, and she's going to be giving us a look at, are you a fireproof woman? So I'm going to bring her up to the podium, and she's going to be the next voice that you hear. Anaiis.
Hello, and thank you for having me and including me in this wonderful adventure that's happening now with the UN in March. I just would like to say that I have some information. I'm going to be doing slides, it's PowerPoint, but I'm going to be talking to you about the core of this concept of being a fireproof woman. So as you listen, you'll hear, and then if you look at the PowerPoint, you'll see the points that I'm making as we go along. So that's all I want to say. I'm excited to be here. My journey of becoming a fireproof woman, and I'm a first waiver. Many of you who will be listening to this will be second, third, and fourth waivers. Our young women today are the fourth waivers, and there will be another wave before these UN goals are completed. So I just wanted to share that with you. And this is all about energy. Okay. So I'm going to start now. And this is the question that you're going to think about as we go through this talk. Fireproof women are in touch with their birthright bliss, their brilliant resilience, and they are women who know the power of sharing power and abundance. Now, here I am. My other nickname is the Quantum Leap Queen. I think this was when I was in Cyprus, this photo. And I'm the founder and CEO of Living Lessons Library. And you can find me in a lot of ways online. But my primary goal in my work is to bring the energetics of precision energy medicine, which I've used with clients around the world, working alongside doctors and physicians in hospitals and speaking at many, many international events about the bridge between what we think of as traditional medicine and the beauty of quantum connections and innovation that are energy medicine. 30 years, 13 countries, healing, coaching, teaching. That's pretty much me. So the theme of my talk today with you, when you're Fireproof Woman, you have everything you need inside of you in your role as a leader, in your community, in your family, in your political sphere, to know when to stand for yourself, to stand for your children, to stand for your family and your community. And you know when you need to stay. Sometimes negotiations or change brings chaos. And as women who are fireproof, we have the courage to stay and walk through that fire that may be a chaotic time while things are reforming. But you also have the wisdom and the internal strength to know when it's time for you to walk away or to move into a different direction, because your fireproof nature has allowed you to experience this as the core of who you are. And you don't really have a lot of fear about standing, staying, or walking away. And that's one of the ways that you know you are fireproof. So, what is the most powerful question in the English language? For me, the question is, what is really going on here? Because when we bring that question into any environment that we find ourselves in as women, as leaders, we can quickly discern whether we're in an environment that's going to be asking us to make a self-sacrifice that we don't want to make, or that's going to be manipulating us into self-sabotage that we don't want to participate in. So there are some typical patterns around the world of women, with our families, with our jobs, with the environments that we're in. And these are patterns that I talk a lot about with my deeper work that I do in my home space and with my clients and in my practice. But I'm just going to list them for you now. They are the yank back, the shut down, the twin or golden child who doesn't ever learn boundaries, and the child who always has the feeling of being owned. Now, this is very, very typical pattern work in what I call the origin story that most fireproof women have to work their way through all 5 of these dynamics that can start in your origin family or in your adopted family or in wherever you find yourself as you're moving and becoming a woman. So my job is to reveal the patterns and the disrupts so that your heart, soul, spirit, and energy can come in as a fireproof woman and the real life, real needs, real solutions that you need and that your community is looking to you for leadership. So energetically, which is the area that I work in, there's something called the no field. And in this energetic dynamic, and it is an energetic dynamic. This is something that happens to us energetically. We may or may not see it or experience it, but sometimes it does come into your living reality. But this is the everything is no. There is nothing. There is nothing new. There is no way out. And there's no explanation for why. And as a fireproof woman, you feel like you're about to be trapped in time and space, and that is not something that you are going to agree to do. So the no field has an impact on your life, your health, your money, your relationships, how you love, who you love, where you love, and what you love. So I want you to focus for a minute on that circle in the middle. This is the black cube reality that we're living in today. And that bliss moment is what every fireproof woman knows that she has to rely on. This is her internal core fire. It's so powerful, but it's actually bliss. The human being was not made to live without bliss. So we have to be very careful how we position ourselves so that we can always tap into our own bliss that is a beautiful, peaceful, quiet form of power and presence. So when you're becoming a fireproof woman, you are gradually, through lots of circumstances and events that almost force you to go back to your core self and find your way through what may be a labyrinth or a challenge that could be really quite distressing, so that you can recognize that you are not willing to be part of SOBS, the sacrificial, overgiving belief system that generates from the no energy field that's all about trauma and drama. Overwhelm, chaos, stress, inner resistance, chaos. This is a slow chronic burn that's an energy sucking vacuum. You cannot survive this. This is what you have to walk away from.
By 2050, our planet will be a vastly different place. By 2050, artificial intelligence will be everywhere. AI-driven stores will allow you to purchase goods without cashiers or waiting lines. AI will diagnose and treat patients, manage transportation, and analyze massive quantities of data. AI chatbots and voice recognition systems will sound like and behave just like real people. AI will be implemented into robots. By 2050, robot dogs and other pets will serve as companions. Robots will dominate factories and begin to serve as teachers, cooks, pharmacists, law enforcement officers, athletes, and other professionals. In 2050, universal translators will remove all language barriers, and voice recognition will be ubiquitous. Hundreds of sensors will be installed in our clothes, homes, and overall environment to monitor our well-being and improve our lives. Computing will change. By 2050, we may run on quantum computers. Based on the properties of quantum physics, quantum computers could deliver massive leaps in computing power, outstripping any current transistor-based models. AI and computers will integrate into humans. Brain chips like Elon Musk's Neuralink will treat neurological disorders like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, spinal cord injury, and blindness. These brain chips will allow people to control computers and prosthetics with no physical interaction. By 2050, we may be controlling things with our minds and communicating through brain signals. By 2050, robotic prosthetics may be stronger and more advanced than our own biological ones. Prosthetic eyes and ears will enter the market, curing blindness and deafness. And in 30 years, like AI, virtual reality will be everywhere. People will try on clothes in virtual reality closets, and holograms will bring FaceTime to a new level. VR platforms will allow you to move around while staying still. We will be able to travel the world and experience life on other planets, all from home.
So I'm going to ask you now, what is the second most powerful you can ask? Lots of people think it's why. Why isn't a question that you should spend a lot of time with. Better to spend your time with what is really going on here. The next best question is what if, because it opens up collaboration, creativity in leadership when we ask what if and what happens next, and is it time and is it now, and we keep dancing in this energy, whether we're working alone as an artist or we're collaborating in a huge multinational corporation. We continue to ask the what if questions. Now, one of the markers of being a fireproof woman is that you always are willing to ask a question that no one else has asked. And it's usually a critical question, and it's a question that sparks all kinds of wonderful. So your birthright bliss, your unique energy flows that move your body, they keep your heart beating, they keep oxygen coming into your lungs. How does birthright bliss feel to you? And you can learn to use precision energy in your biofield to complete the open creative circuits that you need personally and professionally to transmute doubt, fear of the unknown, and be able to silence the dead light of mind chatter that just can slip and slide out your day and distract you from staying present and on focus and clear about what is the next action, feeling, space, communication that's just right, so that you stay, and continue to do a deep dive into your birthright gifts. Every woman has these gifts. So if you don't take anything else away today from my talk, I would ask you to really breathe in and recognize that everything is energy first, last, and always. And so as a fireproof woman, you are learning how to purposefully de-story your own life adventure and then rewrite it. And when you learn to do this as precision energy, you will find that the universe and all of life meets you in your circle. Timeline shifts. You have more time. You have more energy. You come into more abundance. You come into really rich, deep collaborations that can last a lifetime. And you are part of generating different outcomes that empower girls, women, and your community and our world. You become a kaleidoscope. And every time you make a turn within yourself, using your fireproof capacities, you're changing the design at the fundamental level. And we're going to need to do this in the next 5 years in a really big and powerful way. So I want to take a moment to access precision energy together. This is a little exercise that I do. It's very quick. It's called the Sacred Master Key. So as you're watching, as you're listening, just take a deep breath. And I'm going to describe to you how to make the Sacred Master Key. The first thing you do is you feel your connection to the earth. And using your imagination and your breath, visualize a connection from the earth moving right straight up your spine, through your entire body, and coming out through your crown chakra, if you know about your chakras. And then it settles into your heart, this energy, this connection. And then you're going to take your left hand and your right hand. You're going to put your right hand directly on your chest and your left hand over your heart. And then you're going to take a moment as a fireproof woman just to remember a time when you were really challenged and you may still have a little bit of a painful point in your heart center. The sacred key is going to open that so that you can ask, what if, who, how, when, and where. But don't ask why that moment happened for you, because your life journey will be answered to the why. It's all about who you are. And take a deep breath and just listen. Listen to the silence. Feel. Take another breath and flow and allow energy from your heart to flow into both of your hands. And then allow your two hands to focus by bringing them together, palm to palm, with your thumbs still touching that center point in your chest where you feel your heart beating. And now you're just simply opening with your breath, willing to see, feel, hear, and know, so that you trust your inner spark response. And with another breath, allow that to open like a flower of fresh perception. This is the Sacred Master Key. You can do this very discreetly, anytime, anywhere. You are in a possibly low and slow, simmering, burning situation, and you need to shift and change the energy with who you are. And let me remind you, as much as we wish this were true, the mind can't feel energy. So anytime you are in self-doubt, you've been pulled into that's a no field space, that feeling of self-doubt. And it is you momentarily choosing to break your superpower creation circuits. And I'm going to encourage you as a fireproof woman to recognize that instantly when it's happening. With a breath, use the Sacred Master Key and shift your awareness so that you can feel that you are completely in alignment with who you are and that you're stepping out of doubt and back into trust. Now, why is this important today? Because for some of us, depending on where we are in the world, as a woman, you likely are nowhere close to your full earning potential, whatever your circumstances. Whoops. How did I do that? Let's go back. I don't know how I did that. Okay, let's try this. Can we get back to the slide, please? There we go. You're not making a powerful, loving difference wherever you are. If it's just in your own home, with your children, with your circle of care. And you feel a deep longing to share more authentic, bold, and loving impact as you grow. Fireproof Women in Leadership is a community sphere of influence. Now, as you walk away from being a card-carrying member of the origin story that is sacrificial, overgiving belief system, right now today, imagine that you meet all the criteria of being a fireproof woman now, in this present moment. And this is where you reach into yourself and you feel your connection to all that matters to you, that you love and care for. And you listen. And you ask. And then you open to receiving, because this is the most powerful place for any woman to find herself, when she is fully able to receive what she needs, how she can lead, receptivity to meet the needs of everyone that she's collaborating with and caring for. This will bring you into a space of regeneration. And as you grow into your leadership and you relax into being fireproof, and you see how much you are able to be bold and impactful and authentic, you will find every day that you will wake up with the opportunity to be fully in regeneration that allows you to be an inspiration to everyone around you every day without having to really think about it. This brings you into a state of flow, feeling, focus, and form. So from the inside out, as a fireproof woman, you are directing your energies to co-create with you the forms that you need in your daily tasks, achieving your daily goals, meeting these UN goals that we have another 5 years to meet. And as you come into this relaxation and receptivity, because this is really the feminine superpower, and when you're in this place of receiving, it is male energy's responsibility to be part of your receiving experience. So we reveal, we release, we regenerate. We take the time out every day, in the morning, perhaps when you first wake up, or before you fall asleep at night, to reconnect with your birthright bliss that lives in the core of your lower belly. And you can just breathe and feel that. And then you can regenerate by asking, I'd like to receive what I need to know to move into the next space of bountiful shared abundance in what I am co-creating. And then you can reveal the brilliant resilience that is you, when leadership is the essence of your fulfillment and life purpose. And this doesn't have to be in the context of a job. This is just you being a fireproof woman. This is a testimonial from a young woman I worked with in Seychelles, Africa. And this is what she communicated to me after we did our work together around her being fireproof and not being in a family dynamic that was allowing her to thrive. Anaiis, my mother and family dynamic has been so painful. The expectation to be respectful and be filial when abuse is served up as love. But you know through trial and error that this isn't love. To be told to chuck what you know and just accept this? This is destructive. I may not be living in the depths of hell as many others probably are, but it has not been healthy, and there are consequences. I will absolutely come to learn from you, absolutely. Our time together changed what I achieved. It's true, it's real, and she's talking about energy there, and it's so powerful, and it's still paying dividends. It's no small thing that you did, and that is from Svetlana, who is living her purpose, working in her community in Seychelles. So again, remember, listen, ask, and receive. Courage. The courage to commit to your community. The courage to enter collaboration and to be brave. And just find out and discover you don't have to do this perfectly. And to be even imaginative, to imagine some form of co-creation that who created you in this life knows what you need to complete your open circuits that are your life purpose, so that you can fulfill your own circles and cycles of completion. And I have some indigenous blood in me, and I'm really very sensitive to the work of circles and cycles in community, and maybe you are too. Now here's an equation for you, because today we're at such a different level of awareness. We're now talking about quantum entanglements and quantum physics. And I am someone who really respects science when it's truthful. And I love being around scientists and doctors and pushing the boundaries of what we don't yet know. Clarity plus your fireproof attribute, and you know what this is. Mine happens to be productivity and creative expression. Yours can be whatever they are. Plus the truth that is pounding through your bloodstream, minus shame, blame, judgment, or rejection from any source whatever, including yourself. This is how you make your quantum leap into being a fully awake and aware, ready to go fireproof woman. This is where you come into the sense of energetic coherence with you and your wisdom body, your spiritual self. The inspiration that gets you up out of bed every day, and you accept what is happening. You don't waste your energy fighting. You always move into your heart space so that you can find clear, trapped, and tripped up energy. You can find the core of any origin story of self-sacrifice in you or someone else. You can feel your soul memory and heart clarity, destroying patterns of self-sabotage in whatever form this is appearing in your daily life. So, I'm Anaiis Salles, the Quantum Leap Queen. I have a free gift for you, and this is my contact information. Now, I still have a few minutes, and so while I'm leaving up this slide, I want to ask you a couple of questions. How many of you today believe that your family, whether it's your birth family or adoptive family, with its origin stories, has always had or had the best in heart and mind for you? And how many of you have learned through difficulty and self-reflection that this wasn't or isn't necessarily so? And how many of you hold a deep feeling inside of how our families, our births, our deaths, and marriages that we experience in our communities could work somehow more gently in our world, but they don't. Or how raising all children, all girls, to feel safe, happy, secure, and whole, whether they are physically perfect or not, could work better in our families, our communities, our schools, our world, our workplaces. But somehow we miss the mark here too. And how many of you deep inside feel a seed that you are still looking to sprout somewhere in your life as objective proof that you know who you are, and further, that you instinctively know how the universe works, how life works, and that you and your DNA work with and for this loving, benign universe that is always wanting to surface and be with us in coherence wherever we are. So let's take a smaller step into this. I'm pretty sure that most of you know how oxygen works, and that without oxygen, you wouldn't be here listening to me. And some of you also know how a remote control device works, or doesn't if its battery dies, right? But do you know that Fireproof Women, whatever race, whatever age, whatever family you've been born into, whatever your gender orientation, that you are a source of a unique quality of energy that is actually composed of living light that is sparking through all your cells 24/7 because it originates in your DNA. Grown-ups, babies, dogs, cats, horses, elephants, and even lions and other animals in the wild experience this living light emanating from you as a safe presence that doesn't depend on looks, wealth, or social status. And how many of you have known this for a long time, but you have had no safe space that's unbounded or unencumbered by religion or politics or concerns of wealth or poverty or beauty to be able to share who you are in your family, in your community, in your precious life here on this planet at the most fundamental quantum level of your being, self-expression. Well, I want you to know you're in that safe space today. So now that I've mentioned a technical object, a remote control, as a fireproof woman and a woman in leadership, you can't function as a remote control in your community. Turned off, turned on, turned off, turned on. Because operating that way, you can't focus people's attention where it needs to be focused for the amount of time it takes to shift fundamental awareness. How many of you feel and know that you are the breath of fresh air in your family, in a meeting, in a boardroom, with your colleagues? Clients love it when you arrive smiling and somehow almost with a fragrance of a bouquet of fresh roses, even online in a Zoom room. You perk everyone up and you leave the space better off than it was when you walked in. But how many of you experience the courage to stand or stay or have the courage to walk away when you're being manipulated or used as a remote control? Even when you realize that you're only a device for meeting the needs of a disconnected spouse or the demands of a jealous boyfriend or a girlfriend or a mother or a father or an unhappy boss. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Because I want you to know that you already are empowered to stand, stay, or walk away because you are fully being aware and knowing who you are. And if you're not sure of this 100%, you soon will be. And now I want to say farewell, and I want to thank Yvonne and this amazing event giving me the opportunity, I hope, to inspire you just a little bit as a fireproof woman to learn all about how that operates in you, how it's quantum energy functioning in your DNA and through your DNA. And I'd love to have a conversation with you about that if you want to have a chat. But go ahead, claim it. Claim your power to stand, stay, and walk away.
Financing your next $1 billion? Contact us to be a guest. Join us for the next show.